Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special live edition of Sports Talk. This is our Lakers post-game wrap-up. You just saw it here moments ago. The Lakers a 21-point victory tonight over the Boston Celtics, 117-96. I'm, of course, Ed. Welcome to our post-game wrap-up. Let's take you now to J.J. Redick, coach of the Lakers, who is speaking to the media right now.
Game tonight, you hold them under 100. What did you see defensively consistently throughout the evening?
I thought that was one of, if not our best games in terms of executing our defensive game plan, not overreacting to Porzingis making a few turnaround jumpers. Like I said, because of the way we wanted to guard them, it also required a lot on ball in terms of staying in front and forcing off the dribble jumpers. And it required a lot from our shifts, and it required a lot from our low man to stay out of the blender. And, we started the game in some whites, some fronting in the post. We went away from that because twice they got us scrambling. And, outside of those couple plays early, I thought, we were just in front of the ball and made them score over the top of us. And that was what we wanted to do. And, it's a credit to my staff for sure as we talked through things over the last 24 hours. And it's a credit to our guys for executing at a high level.
It was apparent the decisiveness, the aggressiveness that your guys were playing with on offense. Is that an example of the connectivity or the connectedness that you've been talking to us about? Like, what are the signs that you look for that show you're playing connected and getting this type of result?
You can certainly look at potential assists. That's one way. I think for us, on the offensive end, we talk all the time about a we score mentality. We emphasize certain things over and over. And some of that stuff has nothing to do with putting the ball in the basket. It's our running patterns. It's our spacing and being patient in our spacing. It's our screening, and when you screen and you roll, or you screen and you slip, or you screen and you ghost, it's not necessarily for you to get a shot. It's to start something else. And that requires a lot of sacrifice. And I think when we've been at our best offensively, that's how we look. It is not about my shot, your shot. It's about let's create a good shot for us. And there's a balance there for sure, because you use the word aggressiveness, and you do have to have that individual aggressiveness, but you also have to be willing to do all the other stuff to make sure your teammate has the right spacing, or you're creating an advantage for an on-ball player, or creating an advantage for an off-ball player. But we were great offensively in the first half, and honestly got stalled out a little bit in the third quarter. I didn't like the way we started the third, just in terms of our pace within the half court. It was just very slow, but because our defense still defended at a high level, we were able to, maintain that cushion that we had.
JJ, when I asked you yesterday or a couple days ago, I forget when it was, about the trade deadline, you had said kind of part of the evaluation is like figuring out what this team is now. What does a performance like that against an opponent like that say about a team's ceiling? Does it adjust it as you guys evaluate?
We're worried about ourselves, and we're looking for consistency.
This group, along those lines, in terms of consistency, you mentioned that third quarter. There have been times when you guys have stalled out and kind of a problem sort of breaks a lot of stuff. Did you see a different level of resolve tonight?
I did. It was a lot of it was on the defensive end, and it wasn't like we didn't generate any good looks. It's more about that process where we were 11 for 20 in the first half on threes. If we were 6 for 20, I would have loved the process. I would have loved how we played. So it's about sort of returning to that. And even the group that came in at the end, the last few minutes, I love the way they played. I thought our bench overall was awesome. Doe.
All right, you just heard JJ Redick speaking to the media. Very productive win tonight by the Lakers, 117-96. They are now 24-18 on the season. Very, very impressive. Austin Reeves, 23 points, 7 of 13 from the field goal, 4 for 8 from 3-point. He has 6 assists. Very dominant against the defending champion Boston Celtics. Lakers wrap up this homestand. Now they'll go on the road for a couple games. And looks like I have Sean, the man Quinn here, joining us here tonight. And Sean, I'm not sure if you saw the game, but what's your take on the Lakers win?
Well, I can't say that I can't say that I watched the game. I'll be honest, I don't really follow the NBA as much as compared to baseball, football, and hockey. I can say that on the hockey side of things, the Anaheim Ducks, at the same time that this game wrapped up, the Anaheim Ducks wrapped up their convincing win over the Pittsburgh Penguins by a final of 5-1. So that was good. That finished at Honda Center about 10 minutes ago. As for the Lakers, 117-96 over the defending champs, where the Celtics have the better record at 31-14 versus 24-18 with the Lakers. It just shows that the Lakers, they can still play ball. They may have some of the better guys in the NBA. They may have LeBron, who's one of the most popular, if not the most popular players in the NBA as an older, tenured guy. But they just show that they're just like any other NBA team. They play ball, and if they win, they win. If they lose, they deal with it and they move on to the next one.
Well, a lot of dunking in this game tonight by one LeBron James, who's showing his old LeBron self from earlier in his years here in the NBA. As we take a look at one dunk, just drives it in, and that was in the first quarter. But this is one of those wins that really, really means a lot, especially when it's like a rival week. As we take a look at some highlights here, Boston playing some defense, or the Lakers are, and Anthony Davis with a key block. I think everyone pretty much stepped up on the squad tonight. But it was a pretty meaningful win here for the crowd. Lakers haven't been really playing well against other teams. We did see them against the Clippers last week. They laid an egg. Just the other night, they came up close against Brooklyn. And tonight they came up big here against the Celtics. It's LeBron with another dunk. I tell you, it was nice to see the old LeBron, especially in his late years, in his early 40s. But the question is how long he can play.
Looking at LeBron, the speculation was the Lakers went into the draft and everybody knew that they were going to sign LeBron's son, Bronny, and they did. And Bronny started the season, and he wasn't doing so well. They sent him to the G League for a little bit. Now he's back with the main club. He was out there tonight for 4 minutes on the floor. Went 0 for 1 on his free throw attempts. But what everyone was speculating at the start of the year, that could this be LeBron's last year full time in the NBA, and is this sort of going to be the year where he kind of passes the torch to Bronny and says, okay, I've played my career, now it's your turn. You're now a second generation NBA star, and it's your turn to build your career, and I'll be here watching on the sideline.
Yeah, it is very interesting to see what's going to happen. If indeed this is his final year or not, it's still in the air. He hasn't really talked much about his future. We know that he's still under contract with the Lakers for at least one more year. So the question is, will he'll either finish off that year, maybe sign another one or two, or pretty much say, you know what, I'm done. I did everything I could. He's had an up and down career here in LA. A couple playoff appearances. Of course, the NBA title in the 2020 season, the bubble season. Had bad playoff memories, especially last season with the sweep of the Denver Nuggets. So he's that championship seemed to be very, very once upon a time. Now it's more what have you done for us lately? And by the way, I did want to ask you. I did see you. Yeah, I did see your Instagram. You were at St. Anthony's High School. How was that yesterday?
I was out there announcing for St. Anthony boys varsity basketball last night, and the team picked up a good win over the Bishop Montgomery Knights. Both teams, it's a Delray League matchup out here in the Long Beach area. Bishop Montgomery comes down from Torrance, and both teams played good. I can say that, for it being a religious, for it being religious in theme with two Catholic schools, the parents don't take it very lightly. They're all nice and thoughtful at the beginning, and there's prayer before the start of the game, and you have all the pregame hubbub. But then once that game gets going, these these high school basketball parents, they don't take things very lightly, and some of them aren't very religion friendly. I was hearing them holler some things at these officials that were down there on the court, and there's three of them because it's a league game. Usually there's only two, but in league games they have three officials on their courts. But these, particularly the Bishop Montgomery parents, they were not very happy with the officials. At one point in the third quarter, in high school they play 4 8-minute quarters, and in the third quarter, Bishop Montgomery was fouled 5-0 in team fouls. And man, these parents just went off on these officials. And also at one point, St. Anthony's bench was not very happy, and there was a administrative technical foul given to the bench. And then when that was given, then one of the assistant coaches kept yelling at one of the officials, and then that assistant coach was given a technical foul. So St. Anthony went from having, and this was in the fourth quarter, they went from having 1 team foul to very quickly up to 4. And when those technical fouls were administered, Bishop Montgomery was given 4 free throws, 2 for each technical, and they made 3 of the 4. They could have gotten all 4. But in high school, on technical free throws, the fans like to, when it's the opposing team, the fans like to get a little jumpy when the student is out there shooting the free throws, and he was able to shoot 3 of them, but on that 4th one he couldn't put it in. But yeah, high school basketball, it's a different crowd. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, it's you normally would see that at the pro levels, but it was very, very, very interesting experience you had there tonight. I need to check on
we can also be happy to report that our school, Long Beach City, last night, the men's and women's basketball teams opened up their conference play against El Camino. The women had a very convincing victory last night over El Camino. Trying to see if I can pull it up here. It was like, I honestly cannot remember.
Well, while you do that, let me go ahead and just, those that just tuned in a little late, tonight the Lakers take care of business against the Celtics, 117-96. I mentioned at the beginning that LeBron James was dunking around people. We have a small highlight of one of the dunks that LeBron did here, courtesy of TNT Sports. Let's take a listen.
You kick 3.
That was like one of many, many haymakers tonight in LA as we saw the old LeBron James. And by the way, he has been named tonight to his 22nd All-Star game appearance, which I believe the All-Star game is going to be in San Francisco this year. Pretty much weird, knowing all the teams in the North California area has already abandoned them. But again, next up for the Lakers will be the Warriors this Saturday, which will be on ABC. So I look forward to that one. Again, as Sean mentioned, Long Beach City College, our local junior college team, they kicked off their conference play, women's and men's. I believe one of the scores was 129-103. I believe that was I want to say that was the men's, but I'm not sure. I'm kind of trying to get confirmation on that.
Yeah, I can confirm both men's and women's confidently opened up their conference play against El Camino last night. The women won by a final of 74-26. Now, El Camino, the women's team, I had spoke just briefly before the game with Long Beach City's director of basketball operations and men's head coach Barry Barnes. He's been doing it for Long Beach for 16 years. Spoke with him before the game, and he told me that the El Camino women's team are now 0-19. They have not won a game this year, and he talked with Coach Scott Shaw for the women's team at El Camino, and Coach Shaw just told him he doesn't know what happened this year. Usually El Camino produces good basketball. This year is just not their year. As for the men, they fought hard and got that strong win over El Camino themselves last night by that final score of 129-103. So the Vikings are now they had coming from last year to the beginning of this year, they were on a 4-game losing streak, and then on the 17th, they finally snapped that 4-game skid against LA Trade Tech, where one of our sophomores, Kassan White, scored 32 points, I think. So he had a very convincing day against LA Trade Tech. And then last night, 129-103 to open up conference play. Very convincing and a good start for both men's and women's teams at Long Beach City for basketball. So more to come on that. The season's coming to an end here. They got about a little under a month left in the season before we hit any potential playoff games. Both the men's and women's now, their remaining schedules, they both have 3 more home games together on the 31st, the 5th, and the 12th, and then the men have one final game on Valentine's Day against LA Southwest. And the LA Southwest men's team is still playing, but the I believe we were supposed to also have a doubleheader on Valentine's Day with the women, but the LA Southwest women's team, in that conversation I had with Coach Barnes last night, the LA Southwest women's basketball team opened up their season losing 125-5, and the athletic director canceled their season the next morning. So they do not have a women's team anymore.
Well, that's a bummer. One way to end the season, I guess. But we're gonna go ahead and go back to LA. LeBron James is actually speaking to the media right now. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Missing, I think, all 3 of his shots, or 2, whatever, how many shots he took. He was amazing defensively, and his scrappiness, his willingness to do whatever we need on defensive end. I think his shots will come. So, but I think everybody who got the nod, played well.
It looks like you execute the defensive game plan so well tonight as a team.
We executed the game.
How are you able to execute?
We're professionals. That's what you're supposed to do. Just do what the coaches tell you.
JJ said this is one of the better executions of the defensive game plan. So it hasn't necessarily been there
That's the course. That's the course of the NBA season. You know, it's not all. Nobody's ever been 82-0.
Looking into Saturday, it looks like Vandal will be available. What have you guys missed from him the most?
We don't know that. We don't speculate. We have no idea. Maybe available. See, I think I heard JJ say maybe available doesn't mean he's gonna play. When Vando is ready and he's personally feel like he's ready to give us what he got, then we know what we're gonna get from him. Until then, I'm not on that speculation boat. Not.
And now with LeBron James talking about tonight's performance against the Celtics. Again, they go to Golden State on Saturday. Very interesting comments. Yeah, 82-0. It's never happened. Not ever. Not since. Won't ever happen. Maybe the closest we'll ever get is maybe 72-10, which has happened a few times with the Bulls and the Golden State Warriors. So I guess he's right there on that. But very interesting comments. I do want to talk about how you brought up the situation of the defense. Yeah, defense has really struggled, and we've seen it throughout the season. I mean, there was games where they had it in command, and all of a sudden other teams get on it. But I mean, hey, that's why they play the game. That's why these guys get paid a lot. So I mean, we just have to wait and see how this road trip comes out. This road trip might be the key point of the season. 24-18, and fighting with the Clippers, fighting with other teams in this playoffs. Again, just a reminder, tomorrow is the 24th. I believe, to me, that is Kobe Bryant Day, I want to say, or is that next month? I think producers are saying next month. Okay, yeah, next month. All right, so it's next month, 2/24. But we always remember the Black Mamba on this month in 2006. On an actual Sunday night game against the Toronto Raptors, we see Kobe Bryant unleash the scoring album, scoring 81 points, the highest that this leagues have seen since Will Chamberlain's 100-point game many, many decades ago. And that is one memory I always have of number 8 with the number 81 forever marked in the history books. Again, the Lakers win 117-96 tonight. Sean, I'm sure hopefully you'll join me either this weekend for Championship Sunday. You looking forward to the Final Four of the NFL?
Well, I mean, we both kind of share the same feeling with the Rams no longer being in it after losing to Philadelphia last week. But, that's in the past, and there's always next year. But looking on to Championship Sunday, Chiefs Commanders, that's going to be a good one. Washington has themselves a great rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels, and I think he's going to definitely be a threat to the Philadelphia defense, knowing that if you give him room to run, he can run, and he will take that run. And Jalen Hurts, hopefully whatever happened to him on Sunday with his knee or his leg or whatever it was, hopefully it doesn't affect him this week. It's back-to-back home games for the Eagles, hosting the NFC Championship game for the first time since 2017, I believe, because they played.
Yeah, 2017. That was the
That was the
actually no,
Super
it was
Bowl year.
actually no, it was 2022 because that was when they beat the 49ers and they played the Chiefs. That was the
They played the 49ers in Philadelphia 2 years ago?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, we just got confirmation from our stat guy. 2022 was the last time they hosted the NFC title game, which they'll do it again this year. So, yeah, we will go ahead and preview that. Most likely tomorrow or Friday. We'll bring this to you live. We'll preview the other game, which is the Chiefs and the Bills. I'm pretty sure many Bills fans want to see us rep Buffalo as they try to make it back to the Super Bowl. It's been 30 years since they've been to the Super Bowl. A guy by the name of Jim Kelly took them to 4 straight years, and all they have are the bad memories of wide rights or wide lefts, and just dominant, but just couldn't win it. So, I mean, can Josh Allen do it? I mean, we'll talk about that more, and
Yeah,
we'll just have to stay tuned.
that game is going to be, and I hate to put it this way, but as it's been said pretty much all year, any team that's playing the Chiefs, they're essentially playing against the refs, because in the divisional game last week between the Chiefs and the Texans, there were some very questionable calls against Houston that definitely determined the outcome of the game in my opinion. So the Bills are going to have their hands full this weekend against Kansas City, and they're going to be back in Kansas City. And this will be the first time that it's the Bills and the Chiefs in the championship game, where in years past they've played in the divisional game. This year, this game determines who goes to the Super Bowl. So Buffalo is going to have to put on their best and hope for the best. And maybe maybe they can be the team of the year to finally show Kansas City who's boss, and have a different team represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, we do have short options though, but we were hoping that maybe we'll have a different Super Bowl. I'm sure no one doesn't want to see Chiefs Eagles again, but we'll see how that goes. But Sean, hey man, I appreciate the last minute joining. Appreciate you having here, man. Hopefully we'll have you on tomorrow. If you're available, we'll do the recap. Hopefully we'll have a full house. The three of us will be here, and we'll give each take. But I appreciate you stopping by, man. You have a good night, man.
Yeah, of course. I always love coming on the show. It's a pleasure.
We want to thank everyone that's tuned in. Want to give special thanks to all you viewers. We've reached over 50 episodes. We also want to welcome our new fans that are in Ukraine, Canada, and the Japan area. We've seen you guys listening, and we hope you continue to watch and subscribe. Again, we're here on Podbean, on Spotify, and again, this has been a Lakers post game show. Lakers win tonight, 117-96. They'll take on the Golden State Warriors on Saturday. But again, tune in for us as we'll recap Championship Sunday or preview it, and then we'll give you what we think, and hopefully we'll see how things go on Championship Sunday. So for Sean, the man, I am of course Ed. This is Sports Talk. Thanks for joining us tonight, and good night.